Now, most of you understand the phrase outside of the box as creative thinking, finding another solution, reaching another conclusion. However, I'm not here going to share with you for the last different solutions to approach different problems, but I want to share with you an attitude towards life, which I'm also going to talk about passion and skills. I believe that each individual represents a box, but through passion and devotion, we are able to expand ourselves and eventually become limitless. First of all, let me introduce you myself. My name is Richard, and most of you might understand me as the vocalist of our upper school band and an owner of an album which is published last year. Now, this is my album, and this is me. Thank you. Now, ever since I opened my mouth onto the stage, I actually received a round of applause from the audience. And ever since I received a high expectation, not only from myself, uh, not only from the audience, but also from an ideal self, which means that I never understand me as a perfect human being. And I never achieved that high as my current self, as most of you knew me. And I encountered a series of challenges along my way of music learning, but I decided to overcome them and eventually become the person who I want to be now. So today I want to unwrap everything about me as the B side of me as a singer on this stage, and I want to share with you three significant lessons that I learned throughout my music journey. First of all, this is me, and this is also me as a child. So not exaggerating, I have been actually singing for 11 years since 3 years old when I first stepped into a music classroom. And at the age of 5, I also learned a bit about piano playing. Now, I have to admit that I didn't learn anything systematic. For example, music series or technical terms or academic music, all these sorts of nerdy things. But my childhood experience did provide me with some massive passion and love towards music and also a sense of melodies and rhythm that I have towards music. In 2018, I decided to come to Basis, and of course, I chose my music as my electives. But accompanied with that, I encountered one of the biggest challenges ever I faced in my music journey, which is voice break, voice crack for a man. What that is that at some point along my journey, I discovered that no matter how hard I screamed at the top of my lungs, I just cannot hit those high notes that I easily sing. For example, something like that. And, well, thank you. And here are several reasons why this is such a drawback for me. First of all, as a singer, that limits my range. Indeed, I can present you with some beautiful low notes, for example, a song by Justin Bieber. For the times that you rain on my parade, and all the clubs you're getting using my name. You think you broke my heart, oh girl, for goodness sake. You think I'm crying on my own, well I ain't. Something like that. And indeed, I could present you with these low notes, but I cannot sing that high, so that destroys my confidence very much. Secondly, as an impatient person, I would love to complete things fast, but after I discovered that I lost my voice, I started to strain and crack my voice, and of course, I received a total failure. And that puts me back into pain and frustration once more. Thirdly, as a young and immature person, I have this thought that singing just equals to music, and if I cannot sing, I cannot do music. This frustration time accompanied me about 2 years. I'm a huge fan of listening to music. For those of you who have known me, I really cannot live without putting my headphones on. And throughout these 2 years of experience, while I listened to a lot of music, I received a massive insight that changed my attitude and my story, which I'm going to share with you today. Here it goes. Once I'm listening to a song and I'm scrolling through the lyrics, I accidentally discovered a thing called the credit, which lists terms like composition, lyrics, arrangement, mastering, recording, mixing, entertainment companies, things like that. I know that they are not related to singing, but they somehow relate back to music. As a person who does not want to know things halfway through, I decided to do a whole day research upon them. And of course, after I scroll through my computer at the night, my frustration towards music, especially towards singing, is finally put down by these new innovative ideas. I thought to myself, wow, I have a lot more to learn. So I began my music in another way, which is song creation in the future. As a beginner with no basics at all in these things, and I cannot find any resources or any teachers that can help me because this is a rare stuff in the industry. As most of you will guess it, I started to watch YouTube videos online. Initially, I have to follow the instructions step by step, and I have to spend countless of hours just to record one instrument or write a single piece of lyrics. But as time went on, I started to get better and better because I practiced these skills. Throughout this 1 year of practicing and music production, I knew something that I would never imagine I can come across with. Skills like equalization, compressions, loudness meterings, things like that that I didn't know beforehand. Now I can apply them. And now after the 2.5 years of a voice break challenge, I discovered that my voice has started to get more stable because voice challenge is actually a biological process that everyone needs to go through. I started to take voice lessons again, restoring my voice and my techniques. So some of you might ask me, well, Richard, if this is just a biological process for you, why would you spend a whole lot of time torturing yourself and evolving yourself into the new field of music production? And indeed, that is the case. But I'm always grateful now, when thinking back, that this challenge provided me with that massive insight that had me exposed to these kind of new things. Now, with these both skills acquired, I decided to do something more even crazier. And before that, I finally realized that, well, I'm actually pretty good at music, actually. I conceived this idea that I want to produce an album that only belongs to me and is only produced by me. And after starting to execute the plan, I discovered that this is actually one of the most ridiculous things that I've ever done in terms of time management, energy management, academic stresses, and all the technical problems that I encountered throughout my journey. There are countless of hours that I literally cried in front of my computer thinking about why am I not getting successful at this. Because trust me, producing an album is harder than most of the APs that I've taken. AP Psychology, AP World History, something like that. And by the way, AP means Advanced Persecution. Okay, coming back, just kidding. Music production is indeed very hard for me. But after I restored my mood, I would always tell myself some good songs and provide me with some self-efficacy. I believe that I am confident and I can utilize my ability to accomplish what I'm wanting to be. And finally, with the help of my friends, my teachers, my families, I'm finally able to accomplish this album, which is published last year, called Village of Dream Journey on QQ Music, 网易云 Music in China and also overseas, Spotify Music and Apple Music. Now, that is my whole story from 3 years old to now 14 years old. I remembered once Dr. James told me, once after a winter concert, he said, Richard, amazing performance today. You seem to get better and better each time. And whenever now I thought back about this compliment, I will relate it back to the realization that I want to continue music as not necessarily a profession, but a hobby in the future. Not necessarily a profession and a hobby is the thing that I want to emphasize now. So, therefore, concluding on my story, I would love to share with you 3 significant lessons that I learned and extracted from my experience. First of all, never be satisfied about who you are currently, but be confident about who are you going to be in the future. I know that being a turbulent personality type might be very hard because it might hurt your self-esteem, but at the same time push yourself. So it is important to find a balance between these two to give you the best result. And now coming back from the point, I believe that if you have this ability or you have this passion, you can always expand yourself and expand this box. Secondly, the world is just bigger than you expected. Whenever you're feeling down, you're feeling stressed, you're praying to God thinking about why is life so unfair to us? Maybe just take a step back and relieve yourself from the stress. Maybe try something new, whether it's watching a new Korean drama or taking AP Economics, or even listening to a new song. Trust me, these things will be useful for you one day. I believe that everyone lives in their unique time zone so well that eventually they will receive the insight they're meant to receive. Thirdly, which is the title for today, is that passion will always be the backbone for improvements. When, after countless of exploration and commitment, you finally found something that you want to protect or live forever or continue in your life forever, you will find that your imaginations and your thoughts can no longer be confined in your current self. And whenever you discover that, don't hesitate and just go for it. But when you achieved something, don't forget to thank everyone who supported you, for example, your teachers, your family, your friends, but more importantly, yourself, because the only person that can provide you with so much strength and power could only be you. That's the end of my speech. Thank you.